Hey everybody, welcome to CurlingNation Season 2, Episode 4, 2022 Post-Olympic Trials Extravaganza Bonanza.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I'm Joel Dietz.
I'm Ty Vitanen.
Craig Brown.
And we're talking about trials.
My kids are watching the final with my wife right now. They don't know what happened
yet.
What
happened? So they don't know that you weren't in it?
They do know that I was in it. They do know that I was not in the final.
Trials,
Olympic trials, just concluded here in the United States of America, in Baxter Arena, Omaha, Nebraska. Somewhere in Middle America.
The middleest of America.
Almost the middleest of America, yeah.
Yeah, just a little north, I think.
Yeah, I think it's in Kansas or something. The middle.
No.
You didn't win.
Yeah, you didn't win.
I did not win.
You did not win, Craig.
I won some games.
CurlingNation is full of losers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We prefer to call ourselves also Rans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 I've won a game in my time or two, but...
So what would you say about your week?
My week, we started off good. We beat up on Richie the first game, and there's not many things that are more fun than beating Richie.
No, I saw that score. I messaged you, and I told...
Congratulations, you're in a pool called Everybody.
Yeah, and I told my girlfriend, I'm like, Craig can die happy now.
Well, I don't know if that was enough to make it so I could die happy. I mean, it's not like it's the first time I ever beat Rich, but I do enjoy beating Rich.
So overall, are you ahead on Richie's for games won?
This season, I think we are dead even.
Dead even?
From nationals in May through trials now, I think we are I think we're dead even. Lifetime, I don't have a clue. I mean, I'm probably ahead because I'm better looking. I mean, better curler, better at curling than him. Certainly was before I quit curling.
He's louder at curling than you are.
He is louder.
Yeah, but you got more hair, so there's that.
I have a lot more hair. I don't wear my pants as high as he does. Yeah. He's very high-waisted. But no, he's been doing great the last few years though.
Yeah. They were 6-4, you were 4-6, but it was like you were close in every game. It could have been, I think, a couple shots either way. It could have flipped that field.
Oh yeah, we
4-2 go that you had, looking awesome.
Yeah, we very much struggled in. So we gave one game away to Dropkin. I mean, they're a good team. They took it. They helped. It didn't take much to give it away.
Right.
And I think we had Schuster on the ropes one game too.
Yeah.
But those are two teams that if you'd make a mistake, then they get you. And they were bad mistakes that like a team that's a little bit more practiced probably wouldn't make. But
didn't have that.
Were they shooting mistakes or? They weren't mental or not.
It was
strategy mistakes, but
some shooting mistakes, but it was kind of a mental breakdowns in shooting. Like we could have missed short and we missed long, or we could have missed wide and we missed narrow, or something like that. More than anything else. But overall, we probably finished exactly where we should have, based on the amount of time that we have curled together and the number of games and the amount of practice.
How'd your knee hold up?
It hurts still. It was a lot better than it was during the qualifying rounds. But it was still bad.
Did you wear the brace?
Oh yeah, I wore the brace. I'm glad you gave me the recommendation on the new brace too, because I'm not sure that my knee would have held up as well if I would have kept the old brace going.
Sleeves don't do a whole lot.
They don't do a whole lot. So,
but you could have been the only stick curler in the Olympic trials if you had to.
You can't use the stick though.
Can't use stick?
No.
I know cowards.
Can you use the broom Mary Broman style?
I don't think so, but that's a good question.
It has to leave your hand.
Yeah, I think so.
So you'd have to hunch over and just kind of walk it out there.
Yeah, I could have walked it out, but we I don't know. We were all right. We had a good. We had. I'm going to talk about Ben Richardson, who played with us.
Yeah, because Dominic couldn't go.
Dom couldn't go. Dom has. So he's from Switzerland originally, and he hadn't seen his family for 2 years because of COVID. And his boss. Sorry, my phone just buzzed on the table. Probably all heard that, and the microphone's probably picked it up too. Yeah. I'm popular, I guess.
That's because you're on a crime podcast.
Yeah.
That's it.
49 YouTube views.
Yeah. Sorry, what were we talking about? I got distracted with my own popularity.
Dom and Ben.
Oh, Dom. So Dom, we go and we played the first qualifying round in Seattle, and then Dom, like, they opened up travel restrictions after that, and so then he's like, I gotta go see my family. I haven't seen them for almost 2 years, and his boss was like, no, you can't go and see your family and do Olympic trials. And at that point, we were like, well, can you play the second qualifying round, and hopefully your boss will change his mind if we win.
And he works down in Alabama, right?
Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas. He claims it's as beautiful as Switzerland. I think his eyeballs might be broken a little bit.
Kansas isn't my favorite state.
I don't know. It does look pretty nice, though. I've seen some
there's a lot of
pictures.
great pockets.
And so he played the second qualifier with us. We won. Then he tried to talk his boss into letting him have off, and he couldn't. And he decided he still needed to go see his family, which we totally understood.
Yeah.
So then we had to find somebody to play for him. So we picked up Ben Richardson so he was on Luke Violet's team. And
They were just out, right?
they were the next team out, behind us. Sorry, dudes. Sorry, kids. So we picked up 2 of them. We picked up one of them to coach us, Chase, and we picked up Ben to curl. And these guys were great, man. That was
probably a good experience for him too.
I think it was a good experience for both of them, and we got along well. And Ben played pretty well. I think he's played better. I think he's played worse, but he played fine. He sweeps like a madman.
Yes, he does.
He's really, really good at that sweeping stuff. I like him. I like both those guys. They're great. I think they're gonna be the real deal, so to speak. All right, that's all I have to say about them.
Okay.
Oh, Ben is also a musical wizard.
Yeah, he's very impressive.
He's a master cellist.
Yeah, he's going to doing school for that.
He's graduated. Back in the spring, he graduated.
He was in Chicago, wasn't he?
Cleveland. He was in Cleveland, I learned. Cleveland Institute of Music, or
because they didn't have that class at the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Maybe they did.
Well,
but
that's
I tell you what, don't challenge him in music trivia.
No.
Because I'm an old guy, and like all of my cars up until like the age of 35 basically had FM radio only, and so I consider myself a near expert on like classic rock. Name that band, name that tune.
Yeah.
And he's 23, and he was like, it was a toe-to-toe battle, and he's good. He's really good at it. I think we could have won the Olympic trials if it was music if it was music trivia.
Yeah, why is the High Quiz Bowl not an Olympic sport?
Yeah. So that was fun though. We had a good time. I think they learned some things. Greg and I, the old guys on the team, we drank some beers.
Enjoyed yourself?
We did. I think that our team probably consumed more beer than any other team at the Olympic trials. Not that we were having too many, but like we had some every day.
If I was your alternate.
Because we're old guys and figured that why change life.
You do what you're good at, right?
Yeah. Greg's good at drinking beer. We also had some moose. He brought moose down. So we had moose for dinner.
God dang. You
Which
guys
was
stay
good.
at a house or
Yeah, we stayed at a house.
nice?
How was the ice?
The ice was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Send all your complaints to Sean Olsen.
No, I'm not complaining necessarily. You know what I think it might have been though? I think it might have been the rocks. Because when the USCA initially got the rocks and matched them, they matched them by speed.
Oh.
So like sheet A was the fastest sheet.
And who matches them?
Oh, they used like they used the rock throwing machine.
Okay.
And they matched
time
them. They did like time and length and stuff. So they're not they. Now this is quite a while ago. I mean, this was I don't know 7-8 years ago maybe they did this, that they got these stones.
So they rough them up like.
Yeah, they rough them up, but they generally tend to go back to the
to
same tendencies. And so I think that this might be the case where normally like sheet A is the fastest stones in the building, and sheet E are the slowest stones. But they're pretty well matched per sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a big difference between the slowest one on A and the fastest one on A, and there's not a big difference between the slowest and fastest on E, but there's a big difference between E and A.
Are we talking like a half second, long time, like long time? What are you talking about here? Second?
More probably.
Mm.
Because we were.
Wow.
So here's what the deal was. They had some problems. Excuse me, with some of the rocks, the handles on A during mixed doubles. So they didn't use that sheet. They didn't use A's. They used B, C, D, and E. And E, they used on sheet A at the trials. So essentially, the slowest set of rocks were next to the second fastest and the third fastest sets of rocks. So sheet A felt really slow compared to the other sheets. And when I was still there, it was timing out. Like that sheet was like a full second hog to hog slower than B and C was. Like it's still decent.
Right.
But it just felt
predictable. But...
It just felt really sluggish in comparison. And
do you think some of the junior teams that were up there like didn't quite pick that up, or
maybe? But the ladies did not play on that sheet. They played on B, C, and D, and we played on A, B, and C. But we were using rocks from E,
that were the slow
B,
ones,
and C.
Oh.
So
you had a big gap.
There was a big gap
in
the rocks on ours. There's the women, the rocks were consistently, in theory, just a little bit slower. We had the big gap between. We had 2 sheets worth of gap between our fastest and our. No, we had 3 sheets of difference. No, 2 sheets. 2 sheets, I guess, between, and they only had, the 1 sheet. So, whatever. It was good. Certainly nothing that I would put any blame on for any losses or anything like that. I think
different.
It was just a little different. It overall it was still good, very good. You could bury around anything you wanted with no problem. You could basically make a hack waiter around anything that was buried. So it's good.
That's fine.
Women's side, men's side. Which one do you want to get into first?
Sure. Women's.
So women's side. Tab 1, spoiler alert. It looked like their whole team played miles apart from anybody else. They dropped 1 game to Rhyme.
Who she did
I saw that Rhyme played really well.
Yeah, big steps this last 2 years.
They had a good game against Pearson. Pearson didn't have a great game that game, but
no.
But Rhyme definitely earned that one.
Yeah.
Jameson Clare's team didn't do as well as expected.
How old is that team now? Did they just throw that together in the spring when
they hadn't they threw it together I think pre-COVID, and then COVID kind of screwed everything up
Yeah.
for the practicing.
But yeah, I mean, they didn't play together very many times. I mean, I'm not shocked.
Well, they
But
lived together though. I mean, like they were practicing as a team like
a lot.
every day.
They won some games up in Oakville, as we learned on the last show, but.
Didn't they win that spiel? Didn't they win it? They won a spiel, didn't they?
They won a spiel in Oakville. They qualified in a couple around. So their record didn't reflect on how good that team is. So it was just surprising to see them. It was surprising to see that, and I'm sure they're disappointed as well.
It looked like it was just an end would go catastrophic, but like the games were close. They were all so close.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't see a lot of it, but I actually watched one game that they won that they should have lost. I think it was Strauss completely let them off the hook one game. But like I don't know, it's kind of a weird deal. Like they're a better team than their record showed for sure, and it can just be that kind of week. Like
especially trials.
Like Richie's team, they're a good team, and they were really close to being kind of falling apart and being 2-3 games below 500 as well. And they managed to switch things around and get it going, but I mean they started 0-3. They could have very easily turned into the same deal. And it doesn't mean that they're not really good curlers. They just didn't get it going at the right time.
Well, especially like, Richie and Dropkin, they have a pretty even record against each other over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, on the end of the round robin, they very well could have been switched easily.
So back to the women's side, what we're talking about. We're already off track.
Right.
Madison Bear, Dillian Strauss. Dillian Strauss won junior nationals.
Yep.
Is Bear still in juniors, or are they just?
No, she's in the U25,
U25?
so she's like 23. Yeah. They're like 23. That team.
Yeah. So they played pretty well. I think they got beat out by experience.
Yes.
But good shot makers there, so they got some futures, some good curling futures there.
So my team, my coach and Ben, Chase and Ben are really good friends with Strauss's team.
Yeah, or Strauss.
Well, both of them probably, but like especially the Strauss team, and we watched a lot of their games. Like I don't know, these guys they just always had the stream on when we weren't playing and
sleeping.
Yeah, like I was sleeping or Greg was sleeping because we were old and smart.
Ice in your knee
or drinking a beer and watching Ted Lasso. And but I saw a bunch of these games with Strauss, and like they lost like 3 games with the hammer in the 10th. So I mean, like when they figure that out a little bit,
mm-hmm.
like they're gonna be really good because they were like they put themselves in position to be, basically fighting for a second playoff spot in theory, without knowing what they're doing yet.
So they were winning the game. They were just losing the last end.
Yes, and I think that they're gonna be fantastic. With a few more years of playing. I don't even know these girls.
Is Courtney the one that was coaching with them?
I don't know.
I think she was.
Courtney was coaching Strauss at juniors.
Right.
And then couldn't make it to trial, so.
But, did Harnden coach? What's her name? Amy?
Oh. I don't think it shows the coach, does it?
No.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. They had a coach.
Anyways, they did.
Yeah. Kim Ryan played well. She drew like a mad person out there. She made a lot of draws.
Yeah. It was a really good week from them because they've shown that they can go the opposite, but they played really well. played a lot of games really tight.
Are we missing anybody?
Corey
Corey.
Christensen.
I had picked Corey to be the other finalist.
Mhm. For me, it was a toss-up between Corey and Jamie. It just depended on who put up a good week.
Yeah. And they're good, but they're just not Tab
No,
good. And
their team was consistent all week.
I think Corey's team is the best with the personnel. I think they, by far, that's the best, second best personnel that you can get together. And they played with each other so much.
Yeah.
Like, you got really good cohesion. It's just, it was just shot making at that point. And
Yeah,
to be a half a shot behind is to be another end behind.
Yeah, the last two, the two finals, they just straight up got outplayed.
Yeah. A lot of half and 3 out of 4s.
yeah, Corey had the one shot for 2 to take the lead and overthrew that one. But otherwise, they were just one step behind, like you said, their tie, and they just Tab and Nina and Becca and Tara and Eileen are just very seasoned and very, very good at what they do. And you got to be like, they're I think that they're one of the best teams in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
over
it's hard to be a really good team like Christensen and still beat that team.
Yeah.
And if you're even just a little bit off, like it seemed like Corey was,
they could hang for half a game, and then
eventually it catches up to you.
Yeah.
But I don't, I really like them. I think they're great people and they're a great team, but they're just not quite Tab good yet.
Tab team won. Congratulations to them. They're going to Beijing. Won the playoff in two games. They had it pretty well in hand both games.
That first game was like the scoreboard was.
It was weird.
It was weird. It's like it felt like they were up by a bunch, but then she still had to make a pretty decent shot on her last shot of the game. You know, I'm not sure they called the last end of that first game right to get in that spot, but
Corey really put a charge on, and then as soon as they came back in the 6th, Tab got her 3 in the first one.
Yeah, Corey got her 3 and 5. And then give it right back in 6.
Yeah, and like she had time to roll. It was just
Tab had they had an answer for everything.
They came back, and I suppose having the answer every time is the big thing, especially at this level.
Yeah,
can't ever get your you get on the back foot and sit on it. You're gonna end up ironing your ass.
Get on your back foot and sit on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense if you don't think about it.
Does. Totally.
All right, men's side. Team Landsteiner won.
Team Landsteiner won. Congrats, John.
Congrats, John.
And John.
And John. And John
and
they did pretty well most of the week. They dropped the one game to Corey. Dropped him during the round robin.
Yeah, and I wasn't there for that.
So
they just didn't play well. So at that point they had 2 games left in the round robin.
They were already confirmed
number 1 seed, and they came out kind of flat,
right?
And dropped it to Corey.
So I'll say that through the first half of the week, they looked completely untouchable. I mean, they were, but like even like they had one close game, and that was against Dropkin. I think they ended up, but like you could tell that they
never saw
they were struggling, and they still like were winning that game, and you could tell they were struggling because we were on the sheet next to them that game, and they were walking around with like confused looks on their faces, and they were still, they're still winning. But they looked untouchable that first half of the week. And then I don't know. Maybe the other teams just got a little more comfortable. Maybe they went back a little bit from, maybe they just weren't playing quite as good. But
Also, the comfort of knowing that you're in the final already.
yeah, they confirmed themselves in the
Yeah.
playoffs
But also, you don't want to
early.
You don't want to shit the bed at the end and just cruise into the playoffs. And
Yeah.
So, Brundage had a hard week.
That was a hard group of teams to go up against.
Yeah, that was rough.
Honestly, they're playing. I mean,
But
last year they played well.
Yeah.
Played really well. But it's a hard group of teams to go up against.
yeah, well, we talked about Team Persinger, Team Brown. Scott Dunham just out of either U25 or
No,
Junior?
he's
No, they're
Are
probably
they still juniors?
they're probably no.
No,
They're older than they're past the
They're past
U25 as well. They're I think between 24 and 28.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they're in that range. Probably
but
younger.
they play a lot. They practice hard. They have good attitudes. I like those dudes. It's gonna be, if they don't end up being a program team, with some extra funding to do more traveling, it's gonna be hard to break through to be one of the
top 3.
top 3.
Well, 2.5.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
But yeah, I mean,
But they're good enough that they certainly can.
Mhm.
And they scored a 6 on us. Now, granted, we were going balls to the walls, trying to steal one,
Yeah.
and made a couple mistakes.
Sure.
And I turned around right before because we're playing a come around on our last one, knowing that even if we make it perfect, he's going to have a run back for 7. And I turned around and I said to him, you better stick this run back for 7 because 7 is cool and 6 is just eh. He made it for the 6, but no, they're good. Like, they're good players. They're good dudes. They beat us like 3 or 4 times in a row to start the curling this year, and then I think we beat them 3 times in a row. But they almost every one of those games were close. The game we beat them in Omaha, we were lucky because Greg played like a madman. Otherwise they should have beat us the first one. They're a good team. I think that they'll be around. I hope they can find a way to get a team like that some money.
Yeah.
yeah, because they deserve it. Because that's the thing. If they don't get in the program, they're just going to be a thorn in the side of the HPP for a while. I mean, they're going to keep beating HPP teams. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and they just got to keep winning until they can't leave you out.
They have to be hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely seem like that.
So the other HP team is Richie Ruhananen.
You're ruining my life.
Yeah.
The King of Evelyn.
It's TSR time, baby.
Yeah.
I always thought Richie should have a catchphrase like that whenever he made a shot. Just say, TSR time, baby! But
Maybe.
he's not the kind of guy that would.
Yeah.
A lot of high pitch.
Love you, Richie.
Our first guest on
Our first guest.
Our first guest.
CurlingNation podcast.
And
Richie,
probably never again.
I give that team a ton of credit for not falling off the rails at 0-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came back.
Because things were not going their way at all. Yeah. And there was some infighting and some bickering, and they just, not bad, but it's like their personalities is just the bad part of their personalities was starting to show, and that's not when they do well. When they're good parts of their personalities and when they're positive and pumping each other up, then they win a ton of games. And I give them credit that they came back because they were on the brink of losing more than just 3 in a row.
Yeah. Think that team stays together after. They'll probably do run nationals.
They said they were playing nationals.
Yeah.
We went out to the bar with them after the competition had concluded.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Yes, and they said they were playing nationals. I don't know if
Beyond that, who knows?
all
There's always,
5 of them, or if Colin will not play because he has now been. Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! That
Colin-
just came out. Colin's fifth.
Colin Huffman is the 5th player for Team Schuster at the Olympics.
It's Team Landcenter.
Team.
I'm sorry. Team
We
Plies.
know it's Schuster's team. We know that.
So, I don't know what they're going to I would
Yeah.
think that he's going to be with Team Landsteiner at Nationals and not Team Richie.
Yeah, they got to get a little more cohesion together before the Olympics.
mhm. But Richie's got a five-person team.
Yeah,
with-
Croyle.
Yes, so
Croyle's
Croy
flying.
and Tilker. Croy will play second. And,
swap out one ball guy for another.
yeah, a smaller ball guy, but
Smaller ball
yeah,
guy.
still.
Yeah.
So I give him, like I said, I give him credit for coming back after a really
Mhm.
bad start, and it wasn't quite enough.
All right, move on to the final. Dropkin won the first one. Polo played lights out. He was on fire that first game. He couldn't miss.
He's been on fire this whole week. He's just been doing so good for them. I
Yeah.
think that was a turning point. A big thing with it was Joe stepping in, being the young Buck's uncle. Uncle Buck, what'd you say?
Uncle Buck.
Yeah. And I think he just brought the maturity up because all the talent was there. And I think they just needed somebody else who was that one step further.
Yeah.
And I really think Joe brought them to that level of they could have beat Schuster. Even though how
Yeah.
good Schuster was playing all week, I really think they could have.
And in that first game, John missed some free points. He had some draws that were short,
Yeah, that
and not because they were underswept.
no. There's some funny rocks here and there during those 3 games, but
Yeah.
like there's just some missed ones.
Yeah.
There was a lot of. I guess this is when we were talking about ice earlier. This is one thing that I'd say that is, especially with the sheet E stones, which is what if you went back and looked at watch the games, you'll see that almost everybody was using the sheet E stones during the finals.
Right.
And I think the reason is they curled more, because they weren't used as much.
So they were also just a hair slower.
They were a hair slower, but like Sean got the speed up
Yeah.
for the finals. Because I was listening to the times they were saying, and the speed was up a bit in the finals compared to what it was during the week. But with those stones, if you did not throw it, like if you didn't throw it, if you just like let it go, even if you had the right weight and you let it go, compared to having the right weight and giving it a throw at the end, you could lose a stone both speed and line like that. And
we saw that in that last game a bunch of
yeah,
times.
it happened a few times in the last game, and I think maybe
That happened in the
maybe
first game,
anybody
too.
who almost every shot that came up short that I experienced over the week, it was like I just didn't finish the release.
Yeah.
Like I'd let it go, and it starts curling suit right away, loses speed, but like you could tell that one shot of Corey's in 6th.
It looked,
Like
yeah, I mean,
that's what like
it bit right away.
and that's because he just let it go,
Which game? Second
he came up
Third game.
light,
Third
and
game.
Third game.
John ended up drawing for 2.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if Corey would have thrown it just a little bit better, he'd have bumped him in, and then John would have had a wide open hit for 3.
But yeah, no, they were on that,
Mhm.
I don't know, 5 yards past the hog line.
Yeah, right after he let it go.
But it
they
looked
were-
like it bit. Even watched on the screen, it just looked like it straightened out immediately out of his hand.
Yeah, and I watched that a second time, just kind of curious, and it looked like it was one that he
Just
just
didn't finish.
So
But-
final second and the second game of the final, it was pretty even through the first half, but Schuster pulled away in the second half of that game. Corey played a shot in the fifth where John stole two.
I think it was
That
the
was
fifth.
the fifth then?
Yeah. Yeah, because that.
So I think Corey saw, as Corey said in the news conference, he saw a shot to win saw a shot for 4. Not an easy shot. It's an angle raised double. It was like top 8.
Right.
Top 8 to 4 foot. Angle raised double for, I guess, 4.
Yeah, I think maybe in the absolute perfect world, it could have possibly been 5, and I think like the worst scenario, if you make contact with everything, I think it was probably going to be a 3. And
so why would you like? You've got a shot there, like was that a really hard shot, or was it just
no,
no?
it was a hard shot.
It was a hard shot,
but it was a shot.
Not impossible.
No,
especially the way they were throwing.
The way they were throwing, his confidence at that point is sky high.
I don't blame
and I 100 out of 100 times throw that shot to just stomp my way right into the Olympics if I was given the opportunity. And I've seen some people online say that he should have taken the easy one.
Just taking one.
No way. In my opinion, that was absolutely the right call. He it was just a couple inches wide.
Kevin Martin liked the draw. Name drop. I talked to him after the game. So
I think he did something at the Worlds you went to that was a little silly too, huh?
Yeah, actually I wasn't at that one, but yes.
Oh, wasn't it at the one at the Ralph?
No, that was the next year that he threw the one to the board because he thought it would make his next one harder. That was the next year, but no, I think it was the right call for sure. I think that Corey had the shot to go to the Olympics in his hand and he just missed it, and then it's like that was a
big turning point in the game.
That was a huge turning point in the whole weekend.
John stole 2, and then the next end, Corey came around on Tom's first rock, came around a guard.
Yep.
Ended up like back button, and then Corey got forced.
Yep. Yeah, and it was a great.
And then it was all over.
Yeah. No, and especially a game of 3, like you can go if he makes that shot. I think even Schuster has a rough time coming back.
Oh, he was going to be down.
Yeah, so deflated.
Even if he only got 3, he was going to be down 4 with a half a game to go to keep your dreams alive. And
on
those
a good
guys,
hitting team,
and they're
on a really good hitting team,
and they're definitely an emotion team.
Definitely, because then Corey's feeling good, Joe's feeling good. They're throwing.
Yeah, I mean
Polo, man, I played against that clown in so many freaking big games when they'd get a lead on me, and Joe never misses freaking peels when he's winning games. He never misses doubles when they're winning. He did it to me starting back in so long ago. That's the guy. I got a worse record against Polo than anybody else in U.S. curling.
No,
him and Rojeski combined.
Right.
But when he's winning, he's making everything, and right there, if they make that shot, I think they're going. But he missed it. He still had some chances later. But really, I think Team Landsteiner really controlled the whole deal after that moment.
Yeah, but I mean, even in the third game, the first ends, they weren't showing signs of them being on the back foot most of the time. It was just it wasn't just best of the 3. He had a couple halves in finishing up the first half of the third game, and then a couple trips led into a fall, and Schuster just capitalized on him. Because that third game was really good and close too.
It was. It was close.
Sorry.
This part of the show brought to you by beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Third game, it was again the first half was a bit close.
Yeah.
But Schuster just pulled away,
They just stayed more consistent.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I mean, the hilarious part I saw is I think it was the 7th or 8th end when, you know, his heavy and lands in their favor.
because John stole one in the 7th and stole one in the 8th.
He did a double steal, and I mean, it was done after after that 2. Then you got to think a little harder, and then they stole the 1, and it was done.
Yeah, because that was the one that Corey kind of draw that came around.
I think that shot is what turned that game.
Yeah. So if
You
Corey
mean in
put
6 when
Yeah.
he was came up light and then
And
John had
John
the draw
drew
for
for
2?
two?
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I would agree. Like that's if he.
didn't he have a hit somewhere where you could?
It was hard.
Or
I think he made the right call. It was,
Yeah.
that one was less.
It was a hit to force.
but
another hit.
there was a lot of room that even if he buried it, John still could have picked it out.
Would only been for 1 though.
Yeah,
for
Warren
one.
went wrong.
So I think that play was more for, hopefully we steal, but maybe we
But a force.
force.
Yeah.
More likely we force.
Okay.
I'm all right with that call. I really liked the double attempt in game 1 or game 2
Yep.
instead,
Mhm.
but like I was totally fine with the intern draw call. He just didn't throw a good one there, but
Mhm.
I think that I don't know. You could just see the wind kind of coming out of their sails a little bit, and like the draw when he gave up the steal, that was a really really hard draw. Like the
Yeah,
one
you
where
were-
he was trying to throw an intern like through a backwards hole,
Yeah.
and like that one, the
That's
way
the one he had to bite like back.
he had to
back
bite like the side of the button
and come
and
around,
come around something in the top 4.
Yeah.
And that one, he had to almost miss the corner guard by like nothing
Yeah.
to have the
Yeah.
right angle where it's coming in sideways.
After that, too, he threw a couple shots for the whole team. I think he called a couple shots. They just didn't need to play.
Yeah.
But I mean, they pushed the hell out of them. I mean, there was no letting up really until those big ends in the last happened, and there wasn't big ends anywhere. It was just a mistake here or there that just changed it, and that was awesome. It was really great.
Yeah, they were super close. Dropping was really close on most everything. So
Yeah.
I think U.S. curling is looking forward to more teams like that.
And I think they got a good hand on him. I mean, Dunham too.
Yeah.
And let's see where Luke Violette's team shakes out. I think there's a good batch.
Yep. Also going on. Are we done? Are we done?
No,
with
let's
US?
talk about
Okay.
Team Landsteiner a little
Let's
more.
talk about- Okay. Colin Hoffman named as 5th.
No, I wasn't going to talk about him.
Okay.
He's just a big bald guy. Let's talk about the team that won. Then what do we think about them going forward? Like gold medal, defending champs.
I haven't talked to John about it.
Which John?
Which John? Lansdowne?
Yeah,
Schuster?
I talked to John Schuster all the time. No, Landsteiner, and I haven't talked to him about it, but it's like a few of them. I don't know how they do it every year. I have no clue how they do it every year, especially when the ones that have real jobs and full-time 40s and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's hard, and some of them, like I still don't understand how Croy does it.
That's why Tyler got out of it. Is like he said I just can't do the grind.
Yeah.
Like it's a
And so
It's-
wondering,
It's so much time, and like if you have a job or a family,
especially when you
and
got your
And
new
even-
kids too.
yeah, like I mean,
and even then they have funding, but it's not like they're really coming out ahead.
no,
And used to have the fun.
they're closer to
Breaking even.
they're
closer to breaking
they're
even than
closer
anywhere
to
else in the
like
US.
doing it for real than anybody else, and they've got a gold medal in their pocket. The
Yeah.
other teams are like, we got to figure out a way to get more money if we want to have more teams like really compete.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there was one of those years, I can't remember which one, where I was on the road 100 days.
Was that when you were with HPP or when you were
Yes,
with...
it was when I was in the program, but I don't remember which year. At 100 days, I was on the road, and
You're still running the shop.
yeah, the only reason I could do that at all is because I had my parents like working for me that basically would do whatever. But I was just done with it, and how these guys keep doing it, like Landsteiner. Must have the best boss in the world.
I really think he does. I mean, the way he talks about how helpful they are with him and how much the whole office loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, he's just so chatty and he loves conversation.
Right. It's his personality.
Yeah.
But, these guys, so there was a couple things that I noticed about that team, and when they are chit-chatting positively, like, I know that this plays into it, and part of the reason why you're not chit-chatting positively is when you miss some shots and you start getting a little annoyed with what's happening on the ice. And so those are games you're more likely to lose or whatever, but like when those guys have positive energy flowing,
Oh, yeah.
like they are really great. And I mean, they're really good when they're like kind of biting each other's heads off, but they're great
Just add another
when
5
they
to
have
10%.
yeah.
I think that's where Matt comes in, being, he's got enough personality there for the whole team, but he's pretty chatty out there. I think he keeps everybody up because he's always up.
Yeah, but sometimes he's up and intense, but he's like negative.
Yes.
If he can be up and intense and positive, or just like, if those guys stay positive and don't let some adversity get to them, like they're really, 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 really good.
Yeah, and I think I mean, it's going to suck for all the teams, but I think they're definitely a big crowd team as well. Definitely like a little bit of noise behind them in the stadium.
Sure.
Yeah, there were not a lot of fans there.
No, it was a bummer.
I was actually
You had some really good signs though.
I did have some excellent signs. I will not lie about that.
Do you know for a fact that Tom eats crayons, or was that just?
Oh,
I
he
think it was
does.
an educated guess.
He does.
Yeah.
He also sleeps with his mouth open.
Yeah.
There was a few years ago. There was a series of tweets going around.
We're talking about
Tom Howell of Tom falling asleep on airplanes.
Lead of Dropkin.
Or in random spots with his mouth open. And there was like 3 or 4 of us that had a photo of Tom asleep somewhere with his mouth hanging open. And like, I don't know how it's the whole tweet thread started, but I know Plies was involved and I was involved because I had one. He was sitting next to me on an airplane one time and so I had to snap a picture, and Plies had done the same thing on a different flight, and somebody else had done the same thing on a different flight, and so I think he does eat crayons too.
Yeah, I can see that. It makes your mouth, just
Yeah.
you need to dry it out because it's just so waxy.
Tom's awesome. I love that dude. So anyways, good luck to both teams, but I think
Schuster's 5th Olympics.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah. One more and he gets free sub, so good for him.
Yeah.
I think he already gets free sub.
Yeah, probably.
Especially at the Olympics, it's all free food.
Oh, free.
Free,
I went to an
free.
Olympics. I know what the Olympics are.
I only got to go because John brought me with. Team Landsteiner brought me with the first time.
Well, I'm pretty sure at this point that's 90% of the American Olympians, right?
Just about.
And
Just
Tara's going to do pretty well. I think she'll be in the hunt for.
I think Nina and Tab and Becca might too, but Tara, I agree.
That team will
Yeah.
do well.
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited. They've been on a roll. I mean, they got third last year at Worlds. Yeah.
Yes.
They're all back together. They've all been playing together for the last year and a half after a couple babies, and I think they're just on a roll. I mean, they had some close games and a loss here and there, but I mean, they rolled.
Mm-hmm.
They're on fire.
The I think the overall the event went well, and actually, you know what, the crowd was it looked terrible on TV, especially that last game.
There were more. Well, the TV only showed like the first like 5 rows. But,
yeah.
There were more people beyond that.
Well, that's where all the people were. We're all above the 5th row.
Yeah, but like during the week, there was a couple games I was really impressed with how many people were there. You know, it was kind of neat to sit there, and you know, I knew that I was done. This was the last curling event of my
illustrious career.
Yes, something like that.
Oh, come on, don't say.
And
Did you get
but it was cool. Like there was.
You'll get roped into something else.
I can't even walk, dude.
Yeah, come on, we got Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Monday night with Advil and knee braces and beer, and you.
Yeah,
and
probably more hindrance than your knee.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. Just because your knee's horrible, also. But you know, like looking around, like it was nice to play some games in front of some people in that situation instead of playing in an arena with 30 people in it. You know, I mean, I think there was a couple games where there might have been close to 1,000 people in that building, and I don't think that showed on TV at all.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, even 1,000 looks bad in that arena because it's a 10,000 seat place, but like that's a pretty good crowd, especially in a non-curling city.
Well, it's like Saturday's numbers were pretty good. I mean, the center section was full. The center to the left was damn full. There was like 19 plies there because Anna brought all her kids, and there was all the other plies kids, and they were all there. The whole center section was full. A ton of Dropkin Young Bucks fans too. I mean, whole Schuster clan was there. The sides were pretty full.
Good.
There was a lot of locals.
Yeah, one thing I did notice, the games that I saw, there was the crowds. They cheered for good shots. They didn't cheer when somebody missed. So like the crowd got the spirit of curling. Right? Like, I know there was a lot of curlers there, but
yeah,
it was good to see. Like, I don't see Omaha as a big curling hotbed, so I didn't expect the fans would be.
They did a good job at following to learn.
Yeah. It was good to hear cheering for bad shots not happening.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Because I mean,
that was good.
Because I still get loud even on misses, just because you're like, I got to support them, and they like noise, especially Matt. Oh, so my favorite thing to yell at Matt is "Let's go Hamilton," and so
I like to call him the ham boner.
There was a sign for that.
Yep, I had a "Let's go Hamilton" sign. We started yelling that here and there. Towards the end of the last game, Colin started yelling it with me too.
Let's go Hamilton.
Yeah, let's go Hamilton. We have to take it down for the women's game because I don't need a ticket. But towards the end of it, I was yelling it. I think Colin might have yelled it once or twice, and then one of the Berkelids, Steven. And then Luke, Schuster's kid, was like, "Why do you call him Hamilton?" And then Sarah was like, "What did he say?" And the only reason I could come up with is because Matt wears his pants too tight. But
well, they're young enough that they don't quite get that yet, but they will once they hit middle school.
Yeah. Yeah, at least we didn't say Hamel Moose Knuckle.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it was a good event.
Ty's back.
I think it was good.
It was fun. I wish more. I wish more of the curlers of old would have showed up. It seemed like there was a lot of just people missing. Like,
Yeah.
it should have been there. Like, I know it's Omaha.
It's Omaha. It's a long ways away,
Right.
and I
We had
mean,
vacation saved up though.
still,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Would have been different in theory had it been in a
Yeah.
2 or 3 hour drive. I would like to think
I
from
do too.
most places
do too.
instead of a
Well, you only get
7 or 8 hour drive from most places. You
Yeah,
know, in
well,
the Midwest.
well, you only get to see Schuster go to his 5th Olympics once. So
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing too. Is like, I don't know. John's gonna keep playing, so I got to go see him make it again.
Yeah.
And maybe this year he'll get one of, maybe he'll get something. I don't know.
Maybe he'll bring you back a mug. I don't know.
It's got a room full of stuff.
Jerk.
Yeah.
And Landsteiner, if you're listening, Ty would like some stuff.
Yeah. I just want your clothes.
It just when you're going there for the try on of the outfit day, just grab 1 or 2 things that you think he would like and get a bigger size.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Come on, John. Anyways, I'll see you at my mom's house pretty soon. We'll have drink around the fire and we'll make turf and turf.
What's turf and turf?
It's a sirloin and a T-bone.
Okay. I like it.
Nice. Speaking of which, Omaha has some good steaks out there.
Yeah.
We went out for steak the first night. Like, let's go. Let's like start this week off right. Let's go and have a steak. And we were all a little surprised at the price or the prices on the menu, especially our 2 23-year-old kids that we brought along. And we
They didn't want to pay for a $20, $30 steak.
Greg wished it was $20 or $30 steaks.
Yeah,
it was
Different place than we did then.
yeah, we went downtown to it was a nice place, and we like apologized to the 23-year-olds for taking them to this establishment
You said get the French
where
dip,
they
it's only
basically
$18.
didn't there was a $20 burger, and that was like the cheapest thing on the menu. And but
Probably like Johnny Double.
we had a house though, so like we
Yeah.
cooked a bunch of meals at home. So I said to him, I'm like, listen, I'll buy you a little bit of your beer, Greg will buy some of your beer, and we've got food that we're gonna save money on by eating at home. So just go ahead, splurge a little bit tonight, even if it hurts.
It's Omaha, and how many times are you going to be in Omaha?
I have some in-laws there, so I'll be back probably at some point. But
All right, anomaly.
yeah,
So we went out with my brother and I, Mike Moore, coach of Team Bear, and Tyler George went out for lunch. A couple days, we found a steakhouse or 2.
with Sizzler.
No,
We go with Sizzler.
No, it was good. I got a ribeye sandwich. That the steak was like this. The piece of bread was like this.
Yep.
So, and it was served open faced. So
Yep. No, they basically just like give you a dinner roll.
dinner roll and then big piece of steak on it.
Yep.
Really good.
Ugh.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds better than the fancy. I don't know.
And
The
they
the
have-
fancy place we went was good,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was like 60, $70 a plate.
Yeah, my steak sandwich was like $20.
Yeah.
It was a really good steak. But they also had really good old fashions too.
Wisconsin style?
Close.
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
All right.
But super good.
Did you guys go to Runza by any chance while you were in Nebraska?
Runza?
Yeah, it's
That's a chain place.
it's like a Nebraska fast food place.
I saw that on the
No.
map. I didn't go to it. No.
I think
What is
that
it?
you should try it sometime.
Does it give you the Runza?
It's that's a good one.
Hey,
It's
I'll be here all week, folks.
it's an acquired taste. I think I have not acquired it at all.
Is it like a White Castle type thing?
Yeah, well, sort of, except it's like the burgers at Runza are actually good, but they have these things called runzas, which I mean it's sort of like a pasty a
Mm.
little bit. But
A pasty is a stew calzone.
there you go. I don't even. It was terrible though.
Mhm.
Like I had a runza one time, and I stopped like halfway through, and then went to like Burger King
Oh.
for a meal because that's how much I was not enjoying my runza. But it's a Nebraska thing.
Yeah.
Like
So you runs away from the
I
runs.
runs away. I don't know. Just all right. I'm just checking if anybody went to Runza while you were there.
I did go to Scooters.
Did you? How was it? We
I
were
like
calling it
Scooters.
Cooters all week because there was one of the ones that we drove by. The neon S was out
Yeah, no, it's
in the light.
Yeah, it's Scooters. And Scooters. But no, it's good. I mean, it's kind of like Mocha. Good stuff. They have great toaster oven sandwiches,
Okay.
which are my favorite breakfast sandwiches. I don't like ones that are made nicely and with like fried eggs on it.
Yeah.
I don't like that crap. I
No.
want sticky cheese stuck to a piece of cardboard.
Great.
That's my style. It's perfect. And they have a candy bar latte, which they're like, if it's a candy bar, we can make it into a blended latte. And I was
Huh.
like, all right.
Does it have to be a candy bar? Could it be candy of some other kind, like Skittles?
I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing it probably has to have chocolate in it.
Okay.
for the
I
most
just
part.
checking. I mean, I'm not really a coffee guy.
No, I'm not either. But I'll drink it because there's so much sugar in there. I had a Snickers one and a Kit Kat one. But I ordered the Kit Kat one and I was like, Kit Kats don't even have that much flavor. I'm an idiot.
Well,
But live and learn.
live and learn.
But if you want to go to Mocha, they have a great Oreo latte. Not sponsored
At
yet.
Oh, at Mocha. Where's this place?
Mocha? There's like 3 or 4 of them in Madison. There's one by East Town Mall now in the old Melio's. There's one
Oh, I know
on
where
East
that is.
Wash by where the people get hit by cars.
Okay. Well,
All right.
for
European
Yeah.
curling championships are happening, and
They are.
we are going to boldly predict the results of the finals
yes,
on Tuesday,
for no reason.
when our show will not come out until 2 days after the finals are done.
Right.
Ty already came up with one. What was it?
I believe Mowat.
Bruce. Scotland.
Bruce will drop the final to a Dean, even though they beat them in the round robin. Do I think Bruce is the better team right now? Mowat? I do. I just think Adine has a pretty good record in finals. And at the Europeans, I feel like it's more on his playing field because, man, Bruce was on a tear at the slams.
But those are in Canada, though.
I know. Exactly.
This is in European.
So that's why-
Scandinavia,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
So that's why I think Adine's going to pull it out. And then I think De Cruz will pull off third. That's what I think.
The king of the bronze is what
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
teammates were calling him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will tell you that De Cruz is going to win in a runaway against Mowat because he'll play Adine in the semis. I
Right.
think because Mowat is like he's already like 6-0, so I think he'll probably be the number 1.
Yeah.
And then so 2 and 3 will play each other in the semis, which will be Switzerland and Sweden. So I'm gonna go with the Cruz, creaming Adine, and
the semi.
creaming Mowat.
Cream him out.
Yeah, I suppose if you do beat Adine,
If you,
Oh,
if you
nobody
beat Dean,
stands a
you're on a
chance.
roll.
Yeah.
it's over. That's what I'm going with.
I like that one. I like that.
Book it.
So I'll just do easy pick and go Mowat final win over Adine over Cruz in the semi, and then Mowat over Adine. Super close game. Bruce comes home up 1 with final.
Okay. Women, I don't even know who's playing. Hasselberg,
Muirhead,
Yeah.
Tirzoni.
Tirzoni. Oh man, there's a lot of good teams. The Russians are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Well,
Russians-
I didn't know
the
Anna
Russians-
Sidorova is playing third for them now.
Really?
Yeah. And so I'm like, they got a lot of experience on that back end now. Because was it Kovaleva is the skip?
Yes.
Yeah, and what was it? I think
Oh.
Eve has a loss, and I think it's against them. Is it?
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean,
All right, Switzerland.
No,
Switzerland, Sweden.
Eve's lost is to Italy.
yeah, what the hell?
Switzerland, Sweden, Russia, in that order. Book it.
Switzerland, Sweden, Russia.
It's double Swiss gold.
I
And
think-
then neither of them are going to win medals at the Olympics. Book it now.
I'm going to say Switzerland, Sweden, Scotland.
Okay.
I think Eve will win the
Mhm.
3 game.
I'm going Sweden, Scotland, Swiss.
All right.
With Russia being just out.
Canadian Olympic trials. Go.
Canadian Olympic trials.
Funny joke, though, first.
Yeah, let's hear it. I love funny jokes.
Okay, well, not a
Why'd
joke,
the monkey
really,
fall out of the tree?
'cause
Why?
he was using his hands.
It was dead.
Oh.
This baby seal walks into a club.
It's dead.
That's just the end of that
Yeah.
joke. Those are the 2 fastest jokes I know.
All right. Why'd little Susie fall out of the swing? She had no arms. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not little Susie.
All right. Canadian Olympic trial. Oh, wait, no, you had a different joke.
No, it was
Or-
McCarville. So,
Oh, yeah.
so McCarville has a great post on Facebook. They're at their hotel drinking beers, and on the TV is the stream showing of the game that they were the featured broadcast of.
The draw.
Yeah, so they were. Oh, that's gotta be bad.
So they got home really quickly. They got
Yeah.
creamed. They got home, had enough time to turn on the TV and watch the game that they were supposed to be playing in
And be enjoying themselves a little
and
bit
have some beers. And it was a good post. And when I saw it last night, I chuckled because our team and the USCA might not have cared to know this information, but we had locker room beers a couple times. So we were like even faster to the beer than Team McCarville was. We had one locker room beer win and 2 locker room beer losses.
Did you change the beer?
Yeah, we just we had to go to the liquor store a bunch of different times, so
Right,
we always
okay,
had random
okay.
beers.
So were your lost ones like Busch Lights?
No, maybe we should have had.
Yeah, sad
Maybe
beers.
we should have had
Natterdays?
sad beers.
Yeah, sad beers.
Sad beers.
Natterdays for
Sad
the up
beers.
and up, baby.
Mad beers. Madder days.
Yeah.
But so we were even quicker to the beer than Team McCarville. But I saw a different post that said, "This is the best loss curling tweet ever," or something like that. And I think that my team challenged that once because we were at the Shorty Drinking Spiel in Cornwall, Ontario. I think it was the first year that they moved it to Cornwall instead of Brockville. And on our way to the curling club, we hit a squirrel.
Oh, that's a bummer.
We drove and ran over a squirrel. And then we lost to McEwen in 3 ends. And this is like an 8 a.m. game. And I tweeted
Oh god.
for the team account, I believe, that I said, on the way to the curling club, we ran over a squirrel. And then Team McEwen promptly ran us over on sheet 3, 9-0 or something like I don't even remember what it was. And I think the way that was worded,
Yeah.
and
that's
how
great.
early it was in the day, I think that it gives that one a run for the money, anyways.
Oh, I like that.
So
But that one was yours broadcast?
mine was not
Yeah.
broadcast, no, but it was where Team McEwen promptly did the same thing to us.
All right.
So
Better content, but their delivery just
yeah,
works out
well, they're
better.
cuter too.
Picks.
Stop.
Ah,
Stop.
they are.
Don't sell yourself.
I'm all right, but I don't know.
All right.
I think Smitty was on my team at that point.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. No, yeah, definitely.
Picks on the women's side.
Einerson.
Hmm.
I picked Einerson and Homan originally,
Yeah.
and then
Holman didn't have a good
45
start.
minutes later, I looked, and were both 0-1.
Yeah.
But I'm sticking with Einerson.
Einerson and Fleury. I think Einerson wins though. Yeah.
I think Fleury Jones. Fleury wins.
Jones is looking good right now. She's
Mhm.
making lots of shots.
Yeah.
All right, men's side.
Have to all pick a different team.
Gushu.
I'll let you go next.
I like McEwen, but he's always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Why change tradition?
Yeah. Who'd you pick?
He picked
Gushu.
Gushu.
Gushu. I don't think it's gonna be Kui again. So, Jacobs, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going McEwen then. I'm taking the
my pick is
bridesmaid.
My pick is not Kui.
I don't think that McEwen. I think McEwen is a
Think he's angry.
gross underdog to those three teams. But I really
Yeah.
like Mike. Like,
I like
he
Mike.
was
Yeah.
always really nice to me. I got along with him well.
Yeah,
They're great guys.
he's a good player.
Reed's awesome. They curl out of West St. Paul, which I said on this show
Mhm.
might be my favorite club.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going for team.
Outside of Lausanne, though, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling for Lausanne.
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 I'm on the McEwen train.
Yeah.
And Colin is really good at puking on reception desks. Oh, yeah, you weren't there that
I
year.
wasn't there for that. He was a guest of the show.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, all these things happened. Just remember, we're picking these winners 5-6 days before they happen. So,
So yeah, I'll put some signs up on who wins, who loses, who's wrong.
Right. Punish Mike for me.
yeah. What else are we going to talk about? Anything?
I think we pretty much got the end of it. I think.
Okay. I would like it to make a request that if anybody is listening or watching, send us some things that you want to talk about, and we will talk about them.
And they can comment on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter.
So if this is the wrap up, you can email the show CurlingNation@curlingnetwork.com. You can find us Twitter and Facebook at CurlingNation. You can find us on YouTube. Search CurlingNation on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Also, any type of podcast catcher you have, find CurlingNation. We'll be out there, audio and video. So, for CurlingNation, I'm Joel. He's Ty. He's Craig. Thanks. Good curling.